You know, when you take a look at this trade, who won on this side? Is it the Dallas Mavericks or is it the Lakers?
It's the Dallas Mavericks.
Breaking news out of the NBA, the Mavericks are expected to fire general manager Nico Harrison at 10 a.m. Central Time.
I feel like they got robbed of actually seeing the end, seeing this through, seeing Luka develop, into hopefully a champion one day. And it feels like they never got to see the end to this. So this was very heartbreaking. And but now it's, I think it's time to move on.
That's the moment a franchise legend hops on national TV and basically calls your whole organization a straight-up circus. When someone like Dirk Nowitzki, a dude who gave Dallas 21 years of loyalty, sits down and completely cooks the Mavericks front office, you know something snapped? Dirk is the type who never talks slick, never stirs drama, never throws shade. So when even he couldn't bite his tongue anymore, you knew the situation hit a whole new level. What Dirk said on Tuesday wasn't simple criticism. It sounded like a farewell speech for one of the wildest collapses the league has ever seen. Let's run this back real quick. February. The Mavericks were fresh off an NBA Finals run. Less than a year ago, LukaDoncic had this squad rolling, and Dallas finally built a real squad around him. They had the wings, the defense, the lob threats with Gafford and Lively, and they brought in Klay Thompson to fix that nasty shooting slump from the Boston series. Everything was flowing smooth, the chemistry was tight, and the season opened strong with a 14-3 heater heading into Christmas. They weren't just good, they were starting to look dangerous at the perfect moment. And then everything spun out. Luka got hurt, and that injury turned into the last game he'd ever suit up in a Mavericks jersey. All because Nico Harrison, the general manager, decided to flip the whole roster upside down and ship him to the Lakers. Just picture that for a second. Your superstar carries you to the finals. Your squad is finally unlocking its rhythm. And instead of building on that momentum, you trade him away. And for what? For AnthonyDavis, a dude who's been more fragile than glass for the last 5 years. And trade details hit the internet and the whole league froze.
This trade just made no sense. It made no sense to them. And really, there was no explanation for it either. You go to the finals the year before. You give up all these assets to build really the team around Luka.
The Lakers walked away with LukaDoncic, Maxi Kleber, and Mark F. Morris, while Dallas got AnthonyDavis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. On paper, some fans tried convincing themselves Dallas might survive if Davis somehow stayed healthy. But come on, everyone knows how that story ends. AnthonyDavis never stays healthy, and Dallas walked right into that mess. So what happened next? Exactly what everybody except Nico Harrison saw coming. Davis pulled up to Dallas and instantly started breaking down. Out of a possible 42 games in half a season, he only suited up for 14, and yeah, it gets even uglier. Out of those 14 games, he dipped out early in 2 of them with injuries, meaning he's actually played 12 full games in a Mavericks jersey. Just 12.
You are a Mavs legend. I know that your phone has been blowing up. Why did this move have to happen?
Well, I think there's just too many distractions, too much going on to keep going this way. This move should have probably happened this summer, honestly. I didn't want this negative energy and this black cloud over the Cooper Flag era, but here we are now.
And here's the wild part. He still hasn't played 5 straight games for Dallas, not even once. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving hasn't touched the court all season, and Klay Thompson looks like a shadow of who he used to be. The squad that was supposed to fight for a championship is now fighting just to stay in the playoff picture. And that's when Dirk Nowitzki stepped in and lit everything up. When the news dropped on Tuesday that the Mavericks fired Nico Harrison, Dirk went on TV and didn't sugarcoat anything. He said the move should have happened in the summer, not in the middle of the season. Months ago, he already warned everyone, talked about distractions, talked about a black cloud hanging over the team before the first game even tipped off. But the coldest part was when he said the trade made no sense and there was never any real explanation for it. Dirk called out the whole decision-making crew with no hesitation. This is a dude who spent 21 years being the model pro, the perfect teammate, the face of Dallas, and even he couldn't defend the madness that went down.
The leadership that we have is really elite, And you'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship.
Washington straight line drive.
And so the Pelicans. Black turns down the three. Oh! Klay Thompson lost it. So at this point, the mission is obvious.
Fire Nico! Fire Nico! Fire Nico!
Here's what Dirk really exposed. The Mavericks spent years building everything around Luka, stacking assets, grabbing those switchable wings, locking in defensive pieces, adding real lob threats, fixing every weakness step by step. After that finals loss, the fans were locked in. The whole city was riding with the team. And right when everything finally lined up, Harrison yanked the floor out from under everyone. Dirk said the fans feel robbed, and he's not lying. They never got to see the end of Luka's Dallas story. They never got the chance to watch him grow into a champion with the squad that was built for him. That shot was taken away from them, and the person who pulled it was their own GM. But Dirk wasn't just mad about losing Luka. He was heated about what came back. Because AnthonyDavis isn't just injury-prone. He's a walking time bomb tied to a contract that's about to crush this franchise. This year, Davis is making $54 million. Next year, $58 million. The year after that, $63 million. And by 2027 and 2028, he's sitting on one of the top 5 highest-paid deals in the entire NBA. Let that sink in. A dude who can barely stay on the court for more than a small stretch is about to be one of the highest paid players in the whole league. And he's not getting any younger. Davis is deep into his mid-30s, rolling into year 15 of his career. Even in his New Orleans prime, he wasn't the most reliable force out there. He never took those Pelican squads to that superstar level. And now, a decade later, with more mileage and more injuries stacking up, the risk is even louder. He's supposed to be the centerpiece of a championship squad, but none of this adds up. The wildest part is his trade value is probably at its peak right now. This is as good as it gets. If Dallas waits another year or two, nobody's touching that deal. They'll be stuck paying a 35-year-old injury-prone big man over $60 million just to sit on the bench. The comparison to Kawhi Leonard hits perfectly. Both dudes are insanely talented when they're actually healthy. Both bounced around different teams without ever finding a real home. Both bring hype every season. And both let their squads down at the worst times because they can't stay on the floor when it matters. Just look at the Clippers with Kawhi. For the last 3 or 4 years, he's been dragging that team down instead of lifting them up. If Dallas hangs on to AnthonyDavis through 2027 and 2028, they'll be watching Kawhi 2.0 play out in real time. And Dirk knows it. That's exactly why he's speaking up so loud. But the AnthonyDavis headache is only one piece of a way bigger mess. The real problem is simple. This Mavericks squad has zero identity. Take a look at the roster. Their 3 vets are AnthonyDavis, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson. All over 30, all dealing with injuries. Then look at the young guys. Cooper Flagg, Derek Lively, Max Christie. All under 23. That's 2 totally different timelines smashing into each other on the same team. And in the NBA, that never works. You can't chase a championship when half the squad is built to win right now and the other half is still growing for the future. You have to pick one lane or the whole thing falls apart. Here's the cold truth straight from NBA history. Teams built around superstars over 30 almost never win titles. That's not a take. That's a pattern we've seen in every single era. Now here's the second truth. Trying to balance 2 different eras at the same time almost never works. Dallas is out here trying to run both timelines, and it's blowing up in their face. If you're a Mavericks fan watching AnthonyDavis get hurt every other week, seeing Kyrie miss the whole season, and watching Klay Thompson struggle to keep pace, the answer is screaming right at you. Scrap the veteran era and move on. Embrace the Cooper Flagg era and build around the young core before it slips away. The one vet Dallas should keep is Kyrie Irving. He still has real game left, and if he stays healthy, he can mentor the young guys while still hooping at a high level. The one vet they should cut loose is Klay Thompson. He's not the same player anymore, and holding on to nostalgia won't fix anything. And the veteran they need to trade immediately, Anthony Davis. His value is still somewhat high at this moment, but it's dropping quick. A year from now, or the year after, he'll be UN tradable. Get young pieces, get picks, get anything that helps the future. Holding on to Davis is choosing a short-term dream over long-term success. Cooper Flagg is never gonna be Luka 2.0, and that's fine. He doesn't need to be. Flagg has the potential to be a multi-time all-star and a real franchise piece in his own lane. And here's the real talk. Dallas fans don't have any emotional bond with Anthony Davis. He's been a Pelican, a Laker, and now a Maverick. He doesn't have a real home anywhere. He's a mercenary passing through. Dallas isn't his city, and the fans feel that. Why would they invest in a guy who might be gone or broken down in 2 years? The smart move is to let him walk now, build around Flagg and the young core, and finally create something that actually feels like theirs. To Dallas, Dirk's comments on Tuesday weren't just about basketball. They were about respect. Respect for the fans who held this team down through every era. Respect for the city of Dallas. Respect for the franchise he poured 2 decades of his life into. When he said this move should have happened in the summer, he was really saying Nico Harrison never should have made that trade in the first place. That black cloud he mentioned wasn't just about bad energy. It was about a front office call that disrespected everything the Mavericks had been building. It was about stealing the future from the fans and replacing it with a worn-down veteran tied to a painful contract. And the fans aren't gonna just shrug it off like some people think. Dirk said it himself. This is a passionate, loyal fan base. They rocked with him for 21 years through every high and every low, from the championship climb to the rebuilding grind. They deserve better than this. They deserve to see Luka's full story unfold in Dallas. They deserved a front office that actually understood what they had and didn't toss it away chasing fool's gold. Instead, they got a GM who panicked after one injury and pulled off one of the worst trades in NBA history. The Mavericks aren't just struggling on the court right now. They're struggling with identity, with direction, with purpose. Dirk said the team needs all the support it can get, and he's not wrong. But before the fans can truly ride with this team again, the franchise needs a real vision. It needs accountability. Firing Nico Harrison is a step, but it's only the beginning. The next GM has to look at this roster and make the tough calls. Trade Anthony Davis while he still has value. Move on from aging vets who aren't pushing the team forward. Go all in on Cooper Flagg and the youth movement, with Kyrie serving as the bridge that holds it together. The path forward is actually pretty simple. Even if it stings, you can't keep one foot in the veteran championship chasing lane and the other in the youth development lane. You gotta choose one direction. And for Dallas, after everything that's gone down, the choice couldn't be clearer. Build around the young guys. Let Cooper Flagg grow into the player he's meant to be. Surround him with talent that fits his timeline. Keep Kyrie around to give real leadership and guidance, and cut loose anyone who doesn't match that vision. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it sounds cold, but this is the NBA. Winning is a business. If the Mavericks want to chase championships again, if they want to earn back the trust of their fan base, this is the only path that makes sense. Dirk Nowitzki didn't want to be the guy calling out his own franchise. You could hear it in his voice, the sadness, the frustration, the disappointment. But somebody had to speak up. Somebody had to hold the front office accountable for one of the most confusing, indefensible decisions in recent league history. Trading LukaDoncic less than a year after a finals run, right when the squad was hitting its stride, for an injury-prone veteran on a monster contract, that's the type of move that gets decision makers fired. And now, finally it has. Nico Harrison is gone. The black cloud is starting to fade, but the damage is already baked in. It's gonna take years to rebuild what was destroyed in that one terrible February trade. Mavericks fans deserve to watch Luka grow into a champion in Dallas. They deserve to watch the final squad return stronger and take another swing. Instead, they got Anthony Davis giving them 12 complete games in half a season. They got Kyrie stuck on the injury report. They got Klay Thompson looking like he can't keep up anymore. And they got a front office that blew up their future for a gamble everybody else could see was doomed from day one. And now they've got Dirk Nowitzki, the greatest Maverick ever, stepping on national TV and saying out loud what everybody's been thinking. This whole situation has been a straight-up circus from the very beginning. The real question now is whether Dallas can finally learn from this disaster and build something real. Can they drop the failed veteran experiment and actually commit to the youth movement? Can they move AnthonyDavis before his value falls straight through the floor? Can they build a culture that respects the fans, respects the city, and respects the franchise instead of making panic moves that drag everything backward? Time will tell, but one thing is locked in. Dirk just made it impossible for anybody to pretend this didn't happen. He told the truth, even though it stings, and that's what legends do. They speak up when everyone else stays quiet. And if you're rocking with real NBA talk, if you want breakdowns that don't sugarcoat anything, do me a solid. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who loves basketball as much as you do. It means a lot and helps keep these deep dives coming.